Tea Party types are a bit less malleable.
Well, certainly, Beth Gardner, we saw that with Christine O'Donnell. Her Say Sorry speech turned out to be a list of advice to the man that beat her.
Absolutely. She even invited him to watch her 30-minute campaign commercial, which is quite something for someone who's just lost by double digits.
So isn't it ironic, then, that we've got all these new style identities knocking around the body politics, some of whom are winning seats and some aren't. And 2 years ago, we thought we were getting a new style president that doesn't seem to have delivered. I mean, think of the crowds that surrounded him across Europe, and not to mention the impact he made during the election. And now he seems to be an altogether very different figure.
Well, you know, I think to some degree this is something that comes up every cycle in Washington. You had George Bush back in 2000 promising to be a uniter, not a divider. Every president, every politician comes to Washington promising to change the way that things are done there, reduce partisanship, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get things done. But it turns out to be very difficult once you get there. And I would think it gets more difficult as the years go by. You know, it's easy to see that the U.S. is becoming more and more divided and more partisan. And the voices on either side are becoming louder and louder. I think the really interesting question is going to be what happens tomorrow and for the next 2 years. These Tea Party people, like you say, there may only be a handful of them in the Senate and the House, but they are more than ready to be thorns in the side of the Republican leadership and, of course, the Democratic president. Not just the Tea Partiers, but the broad swath of the Republicans in Congress have spent the last 2 years with a strategy of saying no to Obama. They dug in, they voted against bills that they had even personally supported a couple of years before. They took a real strategic decision, I think, that we're going to try to stop Obama. This is going to be our platform. And from the way it looks tonight, it's been successful. So if you look going forward, I would say they have every incentive, politically speaking, as they look towards 2012, to continue the same. It's hard to see much in terms of cooperation across the aisle.
Exactly. The Republicans have got some interesting choices. They just won the governorship of Iowa from the Democrats, we're just hearing. I think we can see pictures of their party headquarters in Washington just now, and the mood there is on the up rather than the down. We're reported by people there on the ground. They've got some interesting decisions to make, I suppose, the mainstream, if that's still the right term, Republican Party, because the trend is, as you say, is for division at the moment. And those that are thinking perhaps it's time for a hand across the aisle so that they can tackle the economy might be disappointed.
Well, it's true, and you know, when you have an election like this, I think what you see is both sides in Congress moving a little bit towards the extremes. The Democrats are boiling down to not a rump, really, but a more liberal core. They're losing some of these more conservative Democrats. The Republican caucus in both houses becoming more further to the right. So as far as cooperation, it's very hard to see that happening. One, you know, factor that's a little bit unpredictable is what happens when a party moves from opposition to power, as the Republicans are doing, at least on the House side. You know, there are a lot of analysts who are saying, and I think I would have to agree with this, that tonight maybe not so much, even Republicans are conceding a pro-Republican vote, but an anti-incumbent vote, the incumbents this year happening to be the Democrats. So 2 years from now, you're going to see a different situation. And I think what Obama will have to hope is that the difficult economic situation that we're in. And
live pictures from Connecticut. Defeated candidate Linda McMahon there, the former WWF boss there.